Bill Mitchell lost his long fight with cancer, and he'll be sadly missed. Even by the Pollies, he lampooned as the bastards from the bush. We'll leave you tonight with this tribute.
You know, Bill never set out to be a cartoonist. He wanted to be a fighter pilot, but he failed the eye test.
In fact, Bill Mitchell had X-ray vision. He certainly saw through the politicians. Mitchell was always the kid from Kalgoorlie. He was always the shy, gentle family man, until he started to draw the bastards.
He'd remind politicians continuously through his cartoons of their foibles and their mistakes and their stuff-ups. And you'd look at his cartoons and they would be just filled with venom and humour.
The Bastards of the Bush was Mitchell's trademark. Not lovable gumnut babies, but feral marsupials who lived around the swamp that was Canberra. He started out with Malcolm Fraser, the big bastard. John Howard, the miserable little bastard. And Paul Keating, well, he couldn't be a bastard. He had to be a vulture. Then suddenly, in 1986, Mitchell started to feel just a bit crook.
As it turned out, I had leukemia. And he said, but you really don't have to worry. It's 8 to 10 years. Anything could happen in that time. But suddenly it was re-diagnosed as another form of it was lymphoma. And I said, how long have I got? And he said, oh, a couple of months probably. And of course that came as a big shock.
Mitchell's wife Rhonda says that he wouldn't have survived this long without his newspaper mates. They absolutely loved him.
Jenny, the editor's secretary, had organised a blood pool. All the staff, or a lot of the staff, went down and gave their pint of blood, which was, you know, just a marvellous thing.
Last week, Australia's greatest cartoonists were on display, the best in the world, all of the larrikin legends.
Jim and Dan Russell, Bill Mitchell, Jim
This was supposed to be a celebration of the great Aussie cartoonists. But in their own funny way, they made it a wake for their best mate, Bill Mitchell.
He is, I'm not going to say the most feared or the most loved, but the most respected by the politicians, because he can see under their skin. You know, the emperor has no clothes. Bill knows.
Bill's a real institution in Australian cartooning. You only, to realise just how influential Bill's been, I think you really only have to look at a host of American cartoonists. Half of them seem to me to try and draw like Bill Mitchell, but very, very few of them are anywhere near as funny.
Would you like some lunch?
Lovely, thanks, love.
How's it going?
Oh, about as good as usual.
Mitchell thought that he'd beaten it, but about Christmas, Rhonda says, the cancer came back with a vengeance.
You know, I would ask him how he was and he'd just say, oh, pretty crook, mate. I mean, that's just how he was. I'm pretty crook, but, you know, I'll be right. That was just the way he was. And it was just more of a nuisance to him. He just knew he had to keep drawing.
It's uncanny. This could have been drawn today. It was actually drawn in March. Mitchell's last lash. There's John Hewson loudly screaming that he can still be Prime Minister. And there's Paul Keating putting in the boot. Right to the end, Bill Mitchell kept the bastards honest.